Ladies and gentlemans, Andy here, author of the best Tinder guide on the internet. This is the Kill Your Inner Loser show. Let's fucking go. How goddamn fucking annoying would it be if I talk like that for the entire podcast? I thought I'd sit down and give you guys a little update on what I've been up to, what I'm working on. You guys seem to like these update videos I do where I talk about, more like conversational style of what I've been working on, what I'm up to, all of that. So if you guys find these interesting, I'll give you guys what you want. I've been thinking quite a bit lately, sort of planning as I get towards the end of the year, like what my mission for the next, 12 months is. I tend to do my goals in yearly blocks. So at the start of every year or at the end of every year, I'll go over what I did that year. I'll do like a recap. I'll put it on the channel. And then I'll come up with a list of goals and missions for that following year. I achieved all my goals or most of the goals this year pretty early. And so I've already sort of been kicking around in my head some of the goals that I want for the coming year. I think one of the ones that I really am the most passionate about, or one of the ones that I've never really cared that much about before, is building this YouTube channel up. So building this community with you guys. And I think a decent interim goal or a decent goal for the next year is 10,000 YouTube subs. So we're sitting at about 2,600 by the time this video comes out. And so I'm going to push and do a bunch of content and just be super consistent and go and reach out to other people and go on their podcast and all that sort of stuff. I think we'll aim for 10K YouTube subs by the end of the year. It's going to take a lot of pushing, obviously. I'm going to have to hustle to make that work, but it is something that I think would be a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing YouTube content for you guys or with you guys. I don't do it for you. I do it for me, but I really enjoy this kind of content. I love being able to talk to you guys and share the things that I'm going through, give you guys motivational, messages, help you with your philosophies and, getting your headspace right, giving you actionable advice on women, on dating, on relationships, on money, on stoicism and all the other stuff. So that's something I want to pursue. I also recently have had a couple of, reminders of things that are important to me or some of the things that I tell you guys a lot and just reminding myself of these things. So I recently, a week ago, I went and hung out with a bunch of my friends that I haven't seen in a long time because they live a couple of hours away from me. Some of them are about an hour and a half away from me. And we don't really catch up as much as I would like to or as much as we used to. And so we had to hang out. It was fucking really, really, really awesome. I love these guys to bits. I'd take a bullet for them. And it was just a nice reminder of something that I tell a lot of you guys, that two things, that you achieve way more when you have other people around you and you surround yourself by people who are working on a mission alongside you, and a reminder to have fun in this process of self-improvement or this process of life, really. I think we often get it can be tempting to get obsessed with the goal that you're currently working on. And that's a great thing. Hey, if you love that goal and you're passionate about it, of course you'd be obsessed. I think sometimes we forget to take a break or take a day off here and there, or even just have a couple of hours a week where we hang out with our friends and remind ourselves like, hey, there is something outside of these goals that I'm working on. Or it's even just a chance to reflect on some of the goals that you're working on and to push your friends and to push yourself. And, it's like enjoying the spoils of your labor. So that was really nice. A reminder to you guys as much as myself that socializing really, 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 helps. It's amazingly productive for your, goals and all of that sort of stuff. And it just fucking feels good. And on that note, I've also recently been playing quite a bit of, I say quite a bit. For me, quite a bit is like a couple hours a week, maybe 5 hours a week, but I've been playing Half-Life Alyx with my girlfriend. That's been a hell of a lot of fun. VR is fucking amazing, but it's been nice to get back to video games just a little bit for a couple of hours a week. And again, it's a nice reminder that there's stuff outside of just the goals that we're working on, and we love our goals. That's why we all work on them, right? But it is nice to have a little bit of time to chill and have fun. And so this is your weekly reminder to have fun, guys. On that note, I've also really been enjoying the gym. I have talked many times in the past about my struggles with consistency in the gym, with feeling like I could build the body that I want. I've had a lot of doubts and limiting beliefs. There's a reason it's taken me probably 5 years to get to the point where I am right now with my body, and it's like probably, nowhere near where I want to be. But I've been working on, with the help of my coach, falling in love with the process of just going to the gym and sticking to your calories and your macros, and just not wishing that I could, jump ahead and just magically take a pill and be at the point where I want to be. A lot of us get very impatient with our goals, and we go, why can't I have the body I want? Why can't I just be at the end? Why can't I just have the sex life that I want? I want it now, now, now. And in doing so, we can get ourselves very frustrated, and then we fall out of love with the process of self-improvement, and then we stop doing the things that would actually get us to the goal. I have done this so many times with the gym, where I will be consistent for a couple of months or even a month, and then I'll get frustrated like that it's taking a while, because it does. Going to the gym and building a body takes years sometimes, and I'll get frustrated, and then I'll go, fuck, I want it now. And then you get frustrated and you stop being as consistent, which ironically doesn't get you the thing that you want. This is something a lot of people do. I've seen a lot of, you guys that will want, I don't know, let's pick a random goal. Maybe you want an elite sex life, and you'll, go out and talk to a bunch of women, and you'll be taking Tinder pictures, but then you'll get frustrated that you get rejected a couple of times. And you guys know my thoughts on rejection. You're not actually being rejected. She just doesn't want to sleep with you. That's a separate discussion. But, you'll get turned down a few times, and then you get really frustrated, and you go, well, what's the point of going outside and talking to women? They're all just going to reject me anyway. And then you stop talking to women, and you ironically slow down and don't get the thing that you actually want. And so a lot of the time, when you're not getting the results as quickly as you would like them, or as quickly as maybe you expected, the answer is to double down and work twice as hard, or put in twice as much effort, or go to the gym, more, or talk to more women, and have fun with the actual process, rather than getting frustrated that you don't have the results yet. A lot of the time, it takes you a while to get the results that you want. And so the only answer is, you have to fall in love with the process. Just show up every day, keep doing what you need to be doing to get to that goal, and almost let the results take care of themselves. So this is something I've been learning myself and working on myself. And I think another thing that's helped, that my coach has sort of drilled into me, is to stop comparing myself to other people. I definitely feel the temptation to do that in terms of body and muscle and physical appearance. I will often see someone in the gym, or I'll see one of my coaching clients. A lot of my coaching clients have amazing bodies, and I will find myself, it seems to come from a good place initially, where it's oh man, that's so fucking exciting. I'm so happy for this guy. Damn, I want to get to that level. I can't wait to get there. And it's motivating. And it quickly devolves into you comparing yourself not quite to them, but wishing that you could get to where they are. So I guess that is comparing yourself to them, and feeling a little frustrated that it's well, that could take a year, that could take 3 years, that could take a fair bit of time before I'd be, anywhere near that point. And then getting a bit hopeless, or feeling a little bit helpless, or feeling a little bit fuck, man, I have this, I've said this to you guys a million times. It's I have this massive mountain that I have to climb. That's going to take a long time. Fuck. And so one thing my coach has really been drilling into me, which has been very helpful, is he said, stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop comparing yourself to your own dream body. And instead, and I tell this to you guys all the time, instead compare yourself to the progress that you've already made. So look back at where you were, and if you're making progress, brilliant. And then you can look a little bit ahead and say, maybe 2 months from now, where do I want to be? Do I want to have my abs? Do I want to have added 1 centimeter to my biceps? What do I want to do a month or 2 from now? But to stop looking so far ahead, which I think I've been getting myself very caught up in that, which is funny how we can be so efficient isn't the right word, but we can be so effective at many goals. I'm very effective. I've gotten pretty fucking good at getting laid. I'm very effective at making money. There's still a lot of things to learn there, but I'm very effective at making friends. I'm very effective at relationships. I'm pretty decent at these things, but less so with the gym. And all of the lessons that I've learned elsewhere, it's I'm having to relearn that they all apply to the gym. And I know that logically, and sometimes we do this thing, right, where we know something logically, but actually putting it into practice and actually internalizing some of those philosophies and those cheat codes and things that we know, the actual internalization of that can take a little bit of time to catch up. So I've been, falling in love with the process. My coach has been absolutely amazing. At some point, he and I have discussed, I don't know when we'll do it. We could do it before the end of the year. We'll see how our schedules line up. Maybe we'll do it early next year. But at some point in the next couple of months, he would like to come on my podcast and basically do a Q&A. So we'd probably live stream it. And you guys could ask him like any questions about body, about mindset. He's really good with mindset. You could ask him questions about dating if you want to. He's in a monogamous relationship, so you're welcome to ask him questions about that. But, he's had, just like a lot of us, some relationships that worked out and some that didn't. So, you can pick his brain on that. You could ask him questions about getting laid. I don't know how much he'd care about that. But the point is, I'm probably going to do a live stream with him, or I would like to do a live stream with him, and you guys would be welcome to just throw as many questions at him as you guys wanted. He's very, very knowledgeable. He's absolutely great with body and fitness and sleep and good habits and mindset and shit like that, and even business. You can ask him a million questions about business. He runs his own coaching business, so yeah, I'll probably get him on for that. I've got a list here of things to sort of ramble on about today. I guess talking about the mission for my content and my coaching, and this conversation comes from right now. There's a guy that's just signed up for my coaching. By the time you guys hear this video, he would have been working with me for about 4 weeks. But as I record this video, he's just signed up for coaching. And he joined with the sole mission of building his business. And he had no idea what business to start. He had no idea what he was good at. He's just like, Andy, I want to fucking start a business. Can you help me? And so I've helped quite a few people with business, but he's the first person who signed up literally just for business and nothing else. Like a bit of mindset stuff as well, but pretty much entirely just for business. And so that's been like really fucking cool. Like I've really enjoyed that. And it's brought up like one thing that I've really drilled into him, because right now in my coaching program, there's like 4 or so people that are working mostly on business and a little bit on dating, but mostly on business. And so it's been really fucking fun getting to put into words a lot of the things that I've figured out from the last couple of years of coaching and doing this YouTube channel, and especially my blog and my podcast and stuff like that. And the thing that stands out the most, and I would like to do a podcast on this. I already kind of have. I've done several podcasts on this, so maybe I can just reiterate it here. But if you're thinking of starting a business, or if you already have a business and you want to grow it, if you're thinking of starting, if you're even thinking of like, how can I get a promotion at work, or how can I get a better job or something, one thing that I want you guys to really drill into your head, and something that I've been telling to these coaching clients that I've been working with, is give value. Focus on giving. Like giving is receiving. I know I've done a podcast called Giving is Receiving. As much as you can possibly give to other people, give that. Like give everything you have. Don't leave anything on the table. Make sure you're giving to yourself as well. I'll make that really clear. Like don't neglect yourself. I see some people making that mistake. So give to yourself first. Handle your own needs and your own wants and desires, and whatever you have left over, give that to other people. But give as much as you possibly can. Help people as much as you possibly can. Even if you're not doing coaching or something, you just run like a service business or a product, like you're just selling something. Give the best customer support and the best service, and have a smile on your face, and make your product the best thing it possibly can be. And, help people achieve whatever their goals are or whatever they want that product for, even if it's just entertainment. Even if all you're doing is selling entertainment or something that makes people smile, put the biggest smile on their face that you possibly can. If you focus on giving the best experience or the most amount of value, or helping people as much as possible, or like giving, that shit comes back to you. I've talked so much with my coaching clients recently about like why that works, and I think I'd rather do a video on, like a separate video on that, rather than explain it all now. But probably the best thing I can say is, especially if you're doing content like I am here with you guys, if you give as much away for free as you possibly can, and you genuinely try and help people as much as, like, that's just firmly in your fucking head, like, I'm here to help people. If you can just like internalize that and stick that in your head, people can tell. Like, people can watch the content and go like, oh, this guy like actually genuinely fucking cares, right? Like, he's trying to help us. And so what you are then teaching your audience is, I, the content creator, give as much away for free as I possibly can. I'm very giving. I'm going to give. And then what you're training your audience or teaching them, it's not like training, but what you're showing them is it's okay to give. You don't have to hold on to things. You don't have to hold on tightly to your value. You don't have to hold on tightly to your money. You don't have to like hold on tight and defend your time. You give away as much as you possibly can. And, again, give to yourself first. Like, if you're really struggling and you haven't done your meditating for the day, or you haven't done your gratitude, or you feel like your needs aren't being handled, don't just give and then, because then you'd be resentful, right? Handle your needs first. But after that, give as much as you possibly can. And what you're showing your audience or your customers or your clients or whoever it is that you're working with or working for, you're showing them that it's okay to give wholeheartedly. And then when it comes time for them to open up their wallet, what are they going to do? They're going to go, this motherfucker gave me so much shit for free. He's shown me that like it's okay to give. And in fact, it's fucking lovely to give as much as you possibly can. Fuck it, man. Like, I'm going to be generous too. I'm not going to hold on to my money preciously and tightly, like I have to defend it, because he hasn't defended and clutched onto his time or his value or his ideas or his concepts. Like, he's just given as much as he possibly can. And so fuck it, I want to give back to him. And what happens then is every customer or every client or every person that you end up working with or selling to, or whatever it is that your business is, you have this beautiful relationship where you're giving your product, or you're giving your time, or you're giving your knowledge, or like whatever it is that you're giving that from this place of like, it feels good to give. And then your customer or your client is giving their money from this place of like, yeah, it feels fucking good for me too. You've given me so much shit for free, and now you're giving me this paid service or whatever. And again, if you're not doing content, you don't have to give away a bunch of content for free, but I think you get the idea. Give the best product that you possibly can. And then they're giving you their money from a place of like, fuck man, like I want to give you my money. Please take my money. Please take my money. And you're both in this like really nice additive relationship where you're both getting something out of it. You're both adding to each other's lives, and it's not a zero-sum game. And if you don't know what zero-sum game means, it basically means where one person wins and one person loses. That's a zero-sum game, or like a transaction. Right? All the clients that I work with, it never feels like a transaction. The money almost doesn't even fucking matter. And I will sit there and say to them, like, I'm so fucking grateful for this money. So it's not that it doesn't matter, but it's like secondary to what we're actually achieving. We're giving each other gratitude. We're giving each other parts of our fucking soul. And maybe that sounds really deep and like, what are you even talking about, dude? You're just coaching people. But it really does feel like, brother, you've paid my rent or you've paid my bills for the next couple of months. I'm going to give you everything I fucking have to show you how grateful I am for that. Like, I want to build you the life that you want. I'm going to push you. I'm going to fucking record hour-long voice messages. I do this every fucking day. I'm going to record hour-long voice messages for your question that you asked in the Facebook group. I'm just going to record a fucking hour-long voice message and give you like fucking everything that I possibly can and give it to you. And what do the people do? At the end of the coaching, after they've already given me their money, every single person that I work with goes, dude, do you want a testimonial? Do you want an interview? Bro, I'd love to come on your podcast and do an interview, dude, because like you gave me so much during the coaching. And it's this beautiful fucking like additive relationship where I give them everything I can possibly give, and they give me everything they can possibly give. And at the end of it, you're just looking at each other and you're like, man, I'm fucking grateful for you. The number of times I've said to my coaching clients, I'm fucking grateful for you. And then they say it back and it's like, fuck, that feels good. And so if you are building a relationship, or you're building an audience, or you're building content, or you're building a business, or you just want a promotion at work, focus on giving as much as you possibly can, and see every relationship with your coworkers or your boss or your customers or your whoever it is, your clients or whatever. See every relationship or every interaction as an opportunity to make their life better and for them to make your life better. Even if all they give you is a smile and a thank you, and you can't expect a smile and a thank you from every single person. Like some people, that you can't demand gratitude from everyone, right? But if you see every interaction as an opportunity for adding to each other's lives. Fuck, man, like what a beautiful way to be at work. Even if you just literally have a job like you work in a cafe or you work in retail or something, go there every day and make it your mission to give as much value as you possibly can. I have talked about this in podcasts in the past. Every job I've ever had, okay, not every job, because there was one that I quit after 7 weeks. Let's say every job except for 2. Every other job that I've ever had, I got promoted within like fucking 1 or 2 or 3 months. Every job. Even when I was 19. When I was 19, I worked at a supermarket collecting trolleys. And within about 3 weeks, they were like, yo, you're doing like the best job of collecting trolleys that anyone has ever done in this fucking job ever. Like you're literally too good at collecting trolleys. Because I put it in my head. I was like, I'm going to do the best job of collecting these goddamn trolleys. The car park is just going to be empty of trolleys. I'm going to get every fucking trolley. I don't care how hot it was. And I lived in a city where the average temperature was like 33 degrees Celsius. So in Fahrenheit, I don't know what that is, but trust me, it's fucking hot. It's like sweating, and it was like a tropical, zone, so I'm pissing sweat all the time. But I was like, I'm going to be the best goddamn trolley collector ever. They promoted me after a couple of weeks. They're like, right, you're going to work inside. You're going to like stack the shelves and shit, son, because you're doing such a good fucking job. And then I crushed that. I was like, I'm going to do the best job I can do of this. I'm going to go as fast as I can without making mistakes. I'm going to have a smile on my face. If a customer ever asks me where something is, instead of doing what most people do, right, where they say, I don't know, or they'll say, oh, it's in aisle 4. Go to aisle 4. No, I'd fucking walk them. I'd walk them straight to aisle 4. I'd go with them. I'd be like, here you go. Here's the product. Do you have any questions about it? We got these brands. This one's actually on special, but this one here, I've tried this one myself. I actually like this one better, but you do what do you have any other questions? Is there anything else you're trying to find? Can I help you with anything else? I would carry groceries to people's cars and shit for them, which like you're not supposed to do. The store manager would sometimes say like, you're not really supposed to leave the store because it's like a health and safety thing. But I was like, fuck that. There's this old person here and they got this big fucking stack of groceries. I'm going to fucking carry that to their car for them. Why wouldn't I? And so I had in my head, I'm going to do the best goddamn fucking job I can do. Every time I would finish a task, I would finish it quicker than they expected. I'd go straight to the manager and be like, yo, I've done that task. Pretty sure I did a good job, but you can come and check if you want. What do you want me to do next? What's up? What's next? Let's fucking go. Like, what are we doing next? And I had it in my head, I'm going to be the best fucking retail worker that I could possibly be. And within like a month of doing that job, they're like, yo, fuck it. We're going to make you a manager of like this department. You're going to be in control of the freezer section and the dairy section and they call it the perishables section. You're the manager now. And I was like, fuck yeah. And so I taught myself all these business skills of like how to, manage because I was hiring the staff members and doing the rosters and the budget and like making sure we weren't throwing out too much stock and ordering new stock and all that kind of stuff. And I've done that with every job that I've worked, with the exception of, like I said, probably 2 jobs that I quit early. Every other job, I worked in a fucking warehouse. And in my brain, I was like, I'm going to give as much fucking value as I can. Everybody else here doesn't give a fuck because we're just in this shitty warehouse, like stacking boxes and filling boxes and shit. But I was like, no, fuck that. Every single time I finish a task, I'm going to go straight to the manager and say, yo, boss, that's done. What are we doing next? What's the mission for today? And I would ask, how can I give you more value? How can I help more? Do you need anyone to do extra shifts? Do you need anyone to do overtime? Boss, is there anything that you feel that you're sort of inundated and like overwhelmed with, that any task that I can take over? Boss, is there anything you can do? Sorry, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything that our customers need? And within like fucking 1 month, they're like, yo, hey, you're going to take over this department actually. A month later, they're like, you know what? Fuck it. Like you can come up in the office with us. Like you're not going to be down in the warehouse like stacking boxes and shit. Come up in the fucking office and we'll teach you how we order the stock. We'll show you how we have these like $1 million contracts with this business and this person. And we'll show you how to do the invoicing. We'll teach you how to do all this other shit. I worked in another retail store, a Target. And there within like, I don't know, 3 months or something, they're like, yo, you're in charge of the lay-by department. And then after that, they're like, you're also in charge of the home shopping area. After that, they're like, right, you're also going to run the fitting rooms and the change rooms. You're the boss of that. After that, they're like, fuck it, you're going to order a bunch of stock as well because you're just in charge of the Christmas and all this kind of shit. Because the entire fucking time, I was like, let me give as much value as I can. Let me help the customers. If a customer ever has a question and I don't know, I'm going to fucking call the manager and be like, yo, hey, customer has this question. What do we do? If a customer ever had a complaint or something, I was like, yo, we're going to fucking fix this. I want you, the customer, to have the best experience ever. I don't want you to come into our store and feel like you got a raw deal or we fucked up or something and we didn't fix it. There was one day when I was the manager of the Christmas shopping area or department, there was basically a fuck up, right? Not our fault, not Target's fault, but a courier company that we were using, like a transport company that we were using, we were going to deliver or they were supposed to deliver a trampoline to a customer. And it was about like 2 days before Christmas, and this customer was supposed to have gotten their trampoline. And they lived like miles away from the store. They were like 2.5 hours away from the store. And they had ordered this trampoline from us to get it delivered in time for Christmas, and it hadn't arrived yet, right? And so I call the courier company and I'm like, yo, hey, like, what's up? Did you guys deliver this trampoline, or like what happened? And they go, oh shit, like we fucked up. We, the courier company, fucked up, but it's too late now. We've shut down because it's close to Christmas and we're not going to be able to deliver this customer's, trampoline. So you're just going to have to tell the customer, like, sorry, you don't get your trampoline for Christmas, but we can give you a refund or we can deliver it late. So I call up basically like, I don't know what you call it, like, the customer service, like, people at Target, like really high up, the bosses basically in their sitting in their little office, in their head office. I call them up and I'm like, yo, what the fuck do we do? This customer isn't going to get their trampoline. Like, it's 2 days before Christmas. Their kids are going to be sad. Like, we can't ruin some family's fucking Christmas, right? Like, that looks bad for Target. And these people who are in charge of, like, customer service, like, literally in charge of customer service for the company, just tell me, like, well, you're just going to have to tell them bad luck. And I'm like, you're in charge of customer service. Like, every problem has a solution. Give me the fucking solution. And they're like, there is no solution. You just have to say sorry and bad luck. And I was like, no, it's not fucking good enough. Like, we can't like ruin, this is the fucking company here. Like, you're going to give the company a bad fucking name. You're going to give these customers a bad fucking experience. Now, everyone else they ever talk to about Target, they're going to say, Target, ruined my kid's Christmas. Like, no, that's fucking shit. I don't want to see a sad little fucking frown on these kids' faces on Christmas. So I go to my store manager and I'm like, yo, boss, like, this is fucked. We got to do something. What do we do? Like, is there some way, can I find some other courier company and Target will just, like, we'll just pay for it. Like, we, the store, will pay for it. Fuck what the bosses and the customer service people say. Like, they're fucking idiots. Like, can we just pay extra to have this trampoline, like, urgently delivered within the next day or two? And we'll just take the hit, whatever money we lose, who gives a fuck? We'll probably make no money because we're going to have to pay like hundreds of dollars to deliver this fucking trampoline, which only sold for like, I can't remember how much trampolines cost, but whatever. He goes, yep, let's fucking do that, man. Yep, good thinking, make that happen. So I call a bunch of people. I spent like probably 5 hours fucking calling courier companies. They're all closed because it's like 2 days before Christmas. Fair enough. Like, they're taking a week off. And so I go back to the boss, the store manager, and I'm like, boss, like, no good. Dude, like, what do? We have to do something. Like, is there anyone in this store that would, like, drive the trampoline? Because I didn't have a license. I didn't have a car. I was like, is there anyone that can drive this fucking trampoline? And the store manager goes like, yeah, no, fuck, let's do it, man. Let's do it. And so he's like, I'll get my 4-wheel drive, my big car. We will chuck the trampoline in there or we'll put it on top of the car or something. Let's fucking go. And I was like, yep, boss, let's fucking go. And so we grab this trampoline off the courier people. We stick it in the car, his big 4-wheel drive. And we drove like 2.5 hours. Maybe it was like 2 hours. Long fucking trip. All the way there, we're like blasting music. We're like talking. We're getting to know each other. Me and the store manager, like, hitting it off, having a great fucking time. Drive all the way there. We're like, yo, hey, customer, like, fuck it. We're not going to let you have this shitty Christmas experience. Here you fucking go. Here's your trampoline. Customer was just like over the top excited. They're like, holy shit, you guys drove. And you're the store fucking manager and you're like the manager of the like 2 fucking managers drove out here because you're like, no fucking way you're not getting your trampoline for Christmas. Like, and I was like, fuck yeah. Like, you're going to get this trampoline. Your kids are going to be fucking happy. She gave us a hug. She was like so fucking happy. And I was like, fuck yeah, we did it. Like, me and the boss like high-fiving and shit. Okay, we didn't high-five, but it felt fucking good. So we drive back. Like, fuck yeah, we got it done. We called up the customer service people, basically said, like, fuck you. We delivered the trampoline, you shitheads. And they were just like, okay. And they didn't give a fuck. But having that fucking mindset, and then I guess the moral of the story is, having that mindset of, like, we're going to give value. The store, at the end of that year, I go to the store manager and I'm like, yo, boss, I'm leaving. I gave him plenty of notice, like a couple of months notice. And I said, I'm going to leave at the end of the year. I'm moving to a different city. It's been amazing. I really appreciate you being here. And he, goes into his office and he comes back with this folder and he goes, hey, this is like a fast track training program to get you to be a store manager. You would do this program in about 6 months and then you'd be like ready to be a store manager, and you'd need to move because, like wherever the store that needs you, you'd have to move there. But within 6 months, you could be on this salary and you'd be a store manager. You'd be running your own store. I was waiting to give this to you to the end of the year, maybe early next year. But if you're leaving, like basically, please don't leave, like be a store manager. And I was like, boss, that's fucking amazing, dude. Like legit, like give me a couple of days to think about it. But I was like, I'd already made my decision to leave. I knew that I was going to, but I wanted to have a think about it and make sure I was making a rational decision. But, I ended up leaving. I told him like, his name was Matthew. I told him, Matthew, that like really means a lot to me. Like I've only been at this company for about a year at that point, I think. And so that's the point that I'm getting to here, guys. Like people who will sit there and say, man, I can't grow my business, or how do I grow my business? Or Andy, how come you're charging like $10,000, $15,000 for your high tier of coaching? Like how the fuck are you doing that? And it's like by in your head, sticking it firmly in your fucking head that you will go above and beyond, and that the only thing you care about is the customer getting their goals or having a happy life or having a good experience or walking away from your company or your coaching or your department in a shitty job that you're in or whatever it is. They're going to walk away from that and tell stories to their family members of how much you fucking cared and how much you wanted them to be fucking happy. And even if you're at a shitty job, I hear so many people who are at a shitty job. They're like, oh, but I just work in a cafe. Why should I care? And why should I put in effort? And it's like, that attitude is exactly why you won't get promoted. That attitude is exactly why you'll work that shit fuck job for the next 20 years. And I've worked in a lot of retail jobs and a lot of like warehouse. Well, I worked in one warehouse, but I worked in a computer repair store. Same thing there. I was 14 when I joined that company. I like working there. I got promoted within a couple of months, within about maybe 6 months. They're like, all right, fuck it. Like, you're not going to do the shit jobs because you fucking care. And so there's this quote I heard, I can't remember who said it, and I'm going to butcher it, but it essentially says, if you can humble yourself enough to do the best possible job you can when you're in a shit job, like, that'd be an idiot not to promote you. I've butchered the fucking quote, but essentially that's the sentiment. And so anytime I hear someone say like, man, I don't know how to get a promotion, or there's no positions available in my, industry, it's not fair, or like, no, my company isn't like promoting anyone. It's like, do it for the love of the game. Give as much fucking value as you can so that the company literally invents spots. There was one retail job I worked where they didn't have any positions for me to move up into. Do you know what they did? They fudged the books and hacked it a little bit and said like, okay, we're going to call you a temporary manager so that we can pay you an extra like 15% on top of what you're already getting. And we would love to make you a manager, but we just can't. Like we can't, there's no position, but we can do this sort of like fudging and rearranging the books, and then we can pay you extra. And are you okay with like doing everything you're doing and working as hard as you are, even if you don't get officially recognized with like a proper promotion or a title or anything? I was like, fuck yeah, that's amazing. Thank you. I was going to work that hard anyway. But this is really fucking nice. And this is what I said before. If you just give as much value as you possibly can, if you're just giving wholeheartedly everything you possibly can, your bosses or your clients or your customers or your colleagues will see that, and they will do everything they possibly can to fucking reward you. I am telling you, they will move heaven and earth to help you, to give you that recognition. And in the rare cases where they don't, your customers will notice. And your customer, so many times, especially when I was working at that Target job, I would have a customer basically like demand and not leave. They would be like, I need to fill out some sort of like thank you form for you. And I was like, well, like that, just you saying thank you. And they're like, no. Go and get your manager. Go and get the store manager. Because I need to speak to them to tell them that you just fucking went above and beyond. What you just did there, you just spent several days helping me. Or you put in like an hour or 2 hours worth of effort helping me when you didn't have to. Please go and get the store manager. And so even if there isn't a position for promotion, it's like your customers will fucking demand it. Your customers will be like, yo, hey, fucking, you got to give a pay rise to this person. And if you can't give a pay rise, you're a fucking idiot. And then your boss will hear that a million times and will start thinking like, fuck, man, maybe I should recognize this person. Or even if we don't have any positions for them to like be promoted up into, fucking they're in my head. The second someone leaves, the second someone goes on holiday, I'm sticking them in that position. If there's no positions available, fuck, man, I'm going to think very, very seriously about just giving them a little bit of extra money. Or here's the point. If they never do that, when it comes up time at the end of the year, you can say, hey, boss, like, are there any positions available? Can I take on any extra jobs? Can I get a promotion? Is there something I can do to push myself up into a higher pay grade? And if they say no, you say, well, can we like negotiate the salary? Because I'm willing to fucking bust my ass. I already am. I've shown you that. You've seen that. Can a brother get a little recognition? And so it's not even a negotiation at that point. It's more just like, yo, I've been working hard, right? And they're like, yeah, you fucking have. Yeah. And you're like, so how do we make me feel appreciated? Like, what do we have to do? What do we do together? Like, how can we, I'm putting in all this effort. I feel like we're making waves here. I'm busting my ass. How do I get some recognition for that? No, they'll move heaven and earth. I'm telling you, they'll move heaven and earth. And if they don't, you have a brilliant fucking referral to go and get a job somewhere else. Your boss or your colleagues are going to be like, this motherfucker moves heaven and earth for our customers and for us and for himself or herself. So yeah, they're going to leave. Fuck, man, I'm going to give them the best referral I ever can. So whatever type of business you are starting or you're running, or even if you just have a normal, average fucking job, give as much value as you possibly can. Give wholeheartedly. Do everything you can to put a smile on your customer's face. Do everything you can to put a smile on your colleague's face and your boss's face and your own face. Do it for the love of the game. Don't do it to get something. Like, people can tell that you have an agenda, but give because it feels good to give. When you help a customer and you see them smile, fuck me, that feels wonderful, doesn't it? When a customer tells you, holy shit, this is the best customer service experience I've ever had, you get a fucking smile on your face and, a rod in your pants, your dick gets fucking hard, and you're like, thank you, that's really nice of you. I really fucking appreciate that. That means a lot. So do it for the love of the game. Do it because you love giving value. It's the best advice I could ever give you guys if you're starting a business. Like I said, all my coaching clients who've been asking me for business advice, or I've been working on their business with them, that's like the number one thing I'm drilling into them. It's like, fucking give value. Other things I've been working on, relationships, and I guess this is something I'm going to do some videos on soon, and I feel like this has come across, and I feel like a lot of people understand this concept, but I don't quite have the wording for this yet, so I'm just going to say it, and I'll kind of refine the wording, in the next coming weeks, months, years. But something along the lines of, you got to love yourself before you love other people. Or if you want validation from women, you got to give that validation to yourself first. And a little bit of extra validation from women is lovely. Isn't it nice hearing a woman say like, holy shit, you're sexy, or that was the best sex of my life, or you're really cool, or you're hot? That feels wonderful. That will always feel nice, right? But you want that validation to come from yourself first. You want to be able to look in the mirror and say like, damn, I'm doing a good fucking job. Or even if you don't feel like you're doing a good job, hey, at least I've started. Isn't it cool that I've started? Most people don't start. Most people don't improve themselves. Most people don't work on their self-improvement. So, hey, the fact that I'm showing up and I'm giving this a go, fuck yeah, that's cool. Like, give that validation to yourself, or give yourself that pat on the back. Give yourself that recognition. And then you won't be so needy and trying to get it from other people. You won't be demanding it from other people, because other people are eventually going to let you down, right? Like, maybe you have a week where you really want validation from women, but all the women just end up saying no for whatever reason, and you feel shit about yourself. That's when you want to go into the bathroom or into your bedroom or whatever, look in the mirror and give yourself a nice little positive pep talk and say, hey kid, it's all right. You got turned down a bunch this week, but hey, at least you're out there fucking trying. At least you're on the front lines, putting yourself out there, pushing up against your fears, overcoming some of your insecurities, doing some of that inner work that we always talk about, that stoicism. You're battling, you're doing a good fucking job, you're grinding, you're moving up towards, a better version of yourself, you're growing, you're, working on yourself. Fuck yeah. Like, I'm doing a good job. And these women, hey, they turned me down, that's okay. They don't have to sleep with me. They all got their own preferences and agendas and things they want. And maybe all the women I talked to this week didn't want to sleep with me, but next week's a new week. I'll go talk to more women. I'll go talk to double the amount of women I talked to this week. And if one of them says yes, fuck yeah, isn't that cool? Look at the power of working hard and the power of the numbers game and the power of self-improvement and the power of just continuing to put yourself out there. And if they all say no, that's cool. I'll do it the week after and the week after and the week after. And I'll keep showing up. I'll keep improving myself because that's who I am as a person. That's my principle. I don't quit. So give yourself that sort of positive pep talk and that validation and those nice feelings, I guess you could say. The same stuff that you're seeking from women. And so on this topic, there's a book called I Need Your Love. Is That True? It's by Byron Katie. I'm just going to say I recommend that to all of you. It's an absolute must read of a book, but the whole premise of the book is what I'm saying here. She talks about the fact that if you go hunting for validation or if you go hunting from like dopamine and good feelings and all of that from other people, you can get it temporarily sometimes, but then you get very frustrated when people don't give it to you. Like when women turn you down, or when your girlfriend is busy, or when your friends have other shit on and they don't have time to give you the validation that you want. The one consistent thing that is always in your life is you. You are always there to give yourself that validation that you're seeking. You are there to give yourself that appreciation that you're seeking, that pep talk, that pat on the back, those good vibes, those good feelings. You will always be there 24/7. And so it's about learning to be a best friend to yourself. It's about, if you go the whole distance, learning to fall in love with yourself, learning to fall in love with your skills and your qualities and who you are as a person, as a man, as a human being, falling in love with your, tenacity and your perseverance. And again, even if you're not where you want to be, and I still have goals I want to achieve, I'm still growing. I will be until the day I die. But even if you have things that you want to achieve, at least appreciating where you are right now. And even if you're not happy, if you haven't gotten to that point where you can be happy with what you have, at least appreciating the fact that you're here and that you're trying to work on yourself. That is worth fucking appreciating. Because again, a lot of people, maybe most people, I think most people want to work on themselves, but a lot of people don't actually take those steps. So if you're even here just listening to this content, or you're taking even just a little bit of action, give yourself a pat on the back for that and realize that that is something worth fucking celebrating. So get that validation from yourself, or give yourself those pep talks, or give yourself a nice little, good job, son, you're doing good. Give yourself one of those every single day. I have in my calendar every single night, like a reminder that will go off and remind me to come up with things that I'm grateful for, and also list every single night. I will list the things that I did that day. So action that I took, or maybe some accomplishments that I achieved, or, again, it's just action that you took. What did I do today? What steps did I take to try and move a little bit forward? So if you can do that every single day and just give yourself those like positive vibes. Another thing I do is I look in the mirror. I've talked about this a million times. I will look in the mirror, look into my own eyes in the mirror, and I'll say, I love you to myself. And whatever comes up, sometimes negative thoughts might come up. Like, oh, I don't deserve love. I'm a piece of shit. Like, why would I say I love you to myself? That's gay. Like, whatever might come up, deal with it. Process it. Why am I having this reaction? Why is it so hard for me to say I love you to myself, yet I expect some woman to say it to me? Why can't I do the thing that I'm asking other people to do? Isn't that fucking hypocritical? If I can't love myself, or at least just like myself, if I can't like being me, if I can't stand myself to the point where I can't even look in my own eyes in the mirror, I hate myself that much, I can't stand my own company that much, why the fuck would I expect a woman to be able to stand my company? If I can't stand myself, why should she? Why would she ever be able to give me the thing that I can't give myself? And so again, I would go and read this book, I Need Your Love. Is That True? It talks about all of these kind of concepts, but I will continue to talk about these things over time, because I'm always going to see the value, or I'm always going to communicate the value to you guys of being nice to yourself and giving yourself the things that you want, rather than demanding or expecting or wanting them from other people. And again, it's lovely getting validation from women. Isn't that fucking nice when a woman tells you that you're sexy, or tells you that you're good in bed, or tells you that you're a cool person, or that you're nice, or you're intelligent, or you're ambitious? Those things feel nice. But what you want them to be is a reflection of how you feel about yourself, or a confirmation of how you feel about yourself. Because if you don't like yourself, and if you don't put into practice these habits that I'm talking about, where you can look in your own eyes in the mirror every day, or give yourself that nice little pep talk every day and say like, hey, I'm crushing it, I'm doing a good job, go me. If you can't do those things, then when someone does give you a compliment, there's this little part of you that feels almost like ashamed or guilty, or like what they're saying is wrong. And it's like you can't take the compliment fully. You can't just fully appreciate the comment and say, yeah, you're right. I am really cool. Thank you. Thank you for noticing. I noticed too. If you can't like embrace that and say, yeah, you're right, it's like their words fall on deaf ears. You don't fully internalize the compliment. And so you're not even getting the validation that you want. Other people won't be able to give you validation because when they try, you won't believe it. You won't accept it because you haven't accepted it about yourself. So when they say it, you just go like, oh, she's an idiot. She doesn't even know what she's talking about. She thinks I'm sexy. No, I'm not. Look at my fat body. Or she thinks I'm intelligent. No, I'm stupid. Why is she saying that? She's dumb. She must be dumb for not knowing how dumb I am. And so you have to be able to give yourself that validation in order for you to then be able to accept it from other people. It's got to come from you first. It's got to be internalized. And that is a process. I'm not telling you like all of you, hey, love yourself right now. Hey, start being nice to yourself right now. Like you can start right now, but it might take you a little bit of time to build that into a habit. I've taken, I don't know, like 10 or 15 years at this point, maybe 10 years. We'll say 10 years. I've taken about 10 years to get to the point that I'm at right now. It's taken me 10 years. And so don't feel like you have to rush it. You can obviously do it much quicker than I did. For most of those years, I didn't even know there was such a concept as liking yourself. I thought you were supposed to I didn't hate myself. I hated myself when I was depressed. But for the last 10 years, it's not like I've hated myself. I think I've just neglected myself. I've ignored my own opinion about myself. And if someone had told me like, yo, bro, you want to have good positive self-talk. You want to have gratitude every night. You want to every day give yourself credit for the things you achieved. If someone had told me that, yeah, I probably could have gotten to this point where I am now, probably like a tenth of the time, right? So it won't take you necessarily 10 years, but I guess what I'm saying is be patient with yourself. If it takes you a little bit of time, if you have a habit of a lot of negative self-talk, it might take you a little bit of time to work through that. So be patient with yourself. Final thing I will talk about is a couple of my missions for the next, obviously I mentioned the 10,000 YouTube subs. Another mission that I've had recently, I've had ideas for a bunch of like books or courses and stuff that I would do. And they're all equally appealing to me. So I think I'm just going to randomly pick one. But one is a BDSM cookbook. I had this idea for a BDSM cookbook a couple of days ago, and I'm definitely going to write it. I say definitely. I'm pretty sure I'm going to write it. It's going to be it's going to be for beginners and advanced people alike. But the whole concept is at the start, I would have a list of ingredients, right? And one ingredient might be blindfolding. Another ingredient might be spanking. Another ingredient might be hair pulling. Another ingredient might be a toy or a rope, or like I would list out all the ingredients. Another ingredient might be dirty talking or role play. And so I would list out all the different like ingredients that I have or that I play with during BDSM to make it much more approachable, because I think a lot of people are intimidated by BDSM and they see it as this big thing where you have to know all the different ingredients and you have to know what you're doing. But I think if I just list out all the ingredients, then the concept would be after all the ingredients, I will then have, several chapters of recipes. So I would mix and match a lot of the ingredients together and I would give each like recipe a name. And so, like you might come home and say, hey, I'm going to have chicken fettuccine for dinner. In the case of this cookbook, you'd say, hey, tonight we're going to do roller coaster sex, or like whatever name that I would have for each one. We're going to do the slow submissive tonight. Like I would have a name for each recipe and I would mix and match several ingredients. And so I'd say, okay, step one, here's what you do, and then do this ingredient, and then do this and that. And I would like explain what to do. So it would be like an actual cookbook, like a recipe. And so maybe I'd have, 20, 30, 40, 50, some amount of recipes, mixing and matching all the ingredients that I wrote before. And you would just like follow along, and you don't have to follow perfectly. You could literally have it there if you wanted to, or you could say to her, like, hey, we're going to follow this recipe tonight. And so that would kind of be the idea. You would share the recipe with her, and you don't have to, but you could, and then you would follow the recipe. And so it wouldn't require you being this BDSM expert. It's like, no, I'm just going to follow the recipe. Like, I don't even have to know what I'm doing. The recipe will tell me. So that's one thing I'm definitely going to do, or I'm pretty sure I'm going to do, because I'm really excited by that idea. Another idea, So that would be paid. The book would be a paid book, and I would probably do a video course with it as well. The next thing I'm that's tossing around in my head that wouldn't be paid, it would be free, is like my own updated version of an approach anxiety program. So something to get you out there on the front lines, being able to talk to women, saying like, "Hey, how's it going? You know, you're cute. Can I get your phone number?" That sort of thing. Because the old one that a lot of us were using, the Good Looking Loser one, we're pretty sure that's off the internet now. So it looks like Good Looking Loser has taken down his website. And so with it, the approach anxiety program that he had has gone. So I would like to do my own updated version, and it would likely be a lot quicker than his. I'm tossing up between either a 14-day one or a 21-day one or like a 30-day one. I haven't quite decided. I think I'm tilting towards a 30-day approach anxiety program, and it might take you a little longer. It might take you a little less, because you might be able to breeze through a bunch of days all at once, or you might be someone who takes a little longer. You're a little more nervous. Maybe it takes you 2 months to do like some of the drills. Some of the days might take you several days to actually achieve, but it would be roughly 30 days. And one thing that's very important to me is getting you guys actually approaching before you've finished the program. So maybe by like day 21, I would have that day's drills be, okay, you have to actually walk up to a girl and actually give her a compliment and then ask for her phone number. And that's all you have to do. You don't have to have a conversation in between because maybe you're too nervous to do that. You just, "Hey, you're really cute. I'm kind of in a rush, but can I get your phone number? We can grab a drink." Like that would be that day's drills. And then the next day, maybe what I would do is that same thing again, but in the middle, you insert one question or one statement. So you'd say, "Hey, you're really cute. I wanted to say hi." She'd say, "Oh, thank you." And then you say, "What are you up to today? What are you doing today?" And she'd tell you, and you go, "Oh, it sounds really cool. I'm actually in a rush, but let me grab your number. We can grab a drink sometime." And then the next day, I would insert one more sentence. You would insert one more sentence. So you'd say 2 sentences. So maybe you'd say, "Hey, you're really cute. I'm Andy." You'd shake her hand. She'd say hello. Then you'd say, "What are you up to today?" She would tell you. And then you'd say, "Oh, that's really cool. Here's what I'm up to today. I'm actually just walking around talking to women because I'm trying to work on my social anxiety, or I'm trying to get myself more confident." Or you could say, "I'm going to see my friend in a little bit," or, "I just got back from the gym." You just say one sentence, and then you say, "Can I get your number? We'll grab a drink." And then the next day you'd add one more sentence. And so by the end of the program, I've got you saying, and you don't have to say a shitload, like you don't have to be a conversationalist or something, but I would get you to have maybe 4 sentences, maybe 5 sentences, something small like that. A little tiny bit of conversation for, 1 or 2 minutes, and then ask for her phone number. And I'd get you to repeat that, quite a few times. So by the end of the approach anxiety, or by the end of my approach anxiety program, you would literally be already hitting on women. And you'd go, "Oh shit, like I'm already doing it. Like, cool. I'm done with the program and I already have been hitting on women, and maybe I've already gotten a couple of phone numbers. Isn't this fucking cool?" Like, so my program would definitely, the idea would be to get you a couple of phone numbers. And if you didn't get any, that's fine. But hopefully you'd have a couple of phone numbers by the end of the program, or you'd at least be comfortable enough or semi-comfortable talking to women that you could then just continue going. And so maybe I'd even say at the last day of the program, I'd say, what you've already been doing, just keep doing that. Like literally just keep doing what you're already doing. So like, day 31, just do what you did on day 30. Day 32, do what you did on day 30. Day 33, do what you did on day 30. And just like continue that going for, however long it takes you. So that's something I'm definitely passionate about. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm somewhat like intimidated because I have and this happens a lot. When you sit down, for those of you who've never sat down to write a book, or like, my massive Tinder guide, or the threesome book course thing that I did, or even just like a really long article, you do in your mind tell yourself stories of like, "Oh man, like I'm going to have to write this and this and this." You sort of overwhelm yourself, and you look at like the entire mountain that you have to climb. You're like, "Man, it's going to take forever to finish this whole AA program. It's so intimidating." So I've been doing that to myself a little bit. So at some point I'll just tell myself, and this is my trick, and I recommend all you guys do the same thing. You just break it down into the very first step that you have to take. And so I've already written a note, a week from now to start just writing for 5 minutes a day. I'm just going to work on this program for 5 minutes a day and just chip away at it a little bit at a time. And maybe a couple of months from now, it'll be like beta version 1, and we can go out there, we can test it. You guys can test it on the forums. We'll see how it goes. We can tweak, because the idea is I want it to be community driven. I'm not just going to write a program and say, there you go, it's perfect. It's like, how do we fucking know? We have to field test it. So it will be based quite a bit on the Good Looking Loser one, but with some of my own tweaks and things that I have seen in my coaching clients. So I already have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to do based on like some of the drills and challenges and stuff that I've given to my coaching clients. So I think it'll be a lot of fun. I am somewhat intimidated by it, but I just keep reminding myself that it doesn't have to be perfect, that you guys don't expect it to be perfect. Sometimes I put pressure on myself and I say, oh, like I care about my community. I want to do the best job for them. It's got to be really good. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It's like the first draft and we can all just kind of tweak it and work on it together. So yeah, I think that'll be a lot of fun. One thing I would definitely like to do, like when we're at a point where we're pretty happy with it, so after we've adapted it and tweaked it and updated it and we're all pretty happy with it, I would like to go and do the drills myself, and I wouldn't video them, but I would like audio record them. So I would either wear a microphone or I'd just hold my phone in my hand and record the audio so you could hear me saying every day's drills. So you could hear the girls' responses, and I'd make sure there was no like identifying information in their answers and stuff like that. But I would go out there and actually do the drills. Again, I don't want to film it because that's like a whole legal thing on its own. Like you have to have permission to film and you have to do this and you have to blur people's faces and ask for a model release and stuff like that. But audio is a different beast. If you're just out in public in a place where it's a public space, that's fine. So I'll probably do something like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. We could do, if we wanted to, if you guys thought this was a decent idea, and again, I'll be getting you guys' feedback on the forums and on these YouTube videos if I talk more about the program. We could get like a couple of you to do some drills as well. Maybe that'd be a cool thing to do, you know what I mean? Like, I do the drills, and I record them, and then we get a couple of people who are, you don't even have to be confident doing it, but we just get a couple of people to record theirs as well, and maybe we can say, and here's user fucking Big Dick 49 or whatever your username is, and here's Tom, his audio, and here's Dylan's audio, and we have like 5 different people's audios, so then you can hear other people doing the same drill, so it's not just like, oh, here's Andy doing it. I think something like that would be really fun. We could definitely do that. I think something like that shows you guys that these drills aren't that big a deal, that most women are absolutely lovely, and so I would probably even include, you never really get negative responses anyway, but I could include some of those. The most negative response you'll ever get is a woman just saying like, no, thank you, like I'm busy, like no, thank you, like we could include those. But yeah, anyway, that's where I'm at. If you guys have any content that you would like me to talk about or any topics, you're welcome to leave them in the description. But yeah, like that's the general direction of where I'm going. Don't really have anything else to say. If you want coaching, I will I think I'm going to keep the bonus offer thing for a little bit longer. So right now, if you sign up for coaching, one of my 2 packages, you get 12 weeks for the price of 15 weeks for the price of 12. I think I'll keep that for a little longer. I'll see how I go. I'm saying it in this video, so as you're watching this video, let's say it still applies. So I'll leave a link in the description below to that. And yeah, I think that's all I wanted to say. Guys, go out there. You know what to do. You know exactly what you got to do. You got to fucking crush your goals, don't you?